Hey y'all, it's Becky with Becky's Journals on Instagram and on YouTube. And today I am dyeing paper, and I thought I would jump on here and show you what I'm doing. I'm all out of breath just for a second. I'm getting sold, I swear. Anyway, I've got these these are colored copy paper here, yellow and pink. And I don't like this yellow, and the pink is just too solid. I want to do something with it to art it up a little bit, you know. So, and also I have all this white paper that I want to dye. I'm completely out of pink papers, hand-dyed papers that I can use, and I'm going to try 3 different methods. The first method that I'm going to work on is the Kool-Aid dyed paper. And you see I've got my gloves, I've got my plain water bottle, I've got an extra water bottle in case this one messes up on me, which they do, they're cheap. I got them at Dollar Tree. And I've got my 2 pans to do the 2-pan method. The first method I'm going to use is the KoolAid Method, and I've already got it mixed up here. The second method I'm going to use is this Rit dye method, and with the Rit dye method, the water has to be hot, really, really hot when you mix it up for it to work right, the dye to activate. So I'm not going to mix this color up until I get to the point where I'm going to actually use it, and it'll probably be tomorrow, I don't know. But today I'm working with unsweetened Kool-Aid mix. The flavor that I'm using is pink lemonade. I've used it before on white copy paper, and I really liked the way it turned out. It did not turn out pinky pink, baby pink. It turned out peachy pink, and you can see this mixture I've got here. I've got about 2 3/4 cup of the mixture. And I used 1 package of Kool-Aid, and then I poured in plain old distilled white vinegar. And the reason you're using vinegar is because it makes the color dye set. It keeps it from getting so diluted. So you can add more fluid to it without diluting the color down. So it stabilizes the color. Then I put about 3/4 of a cup, up to 3/4 of a cup in there of vinegar, and then I filled it up to about 2 3/4 with water. 2 3/4 cup with water. I just filled it up, and then I gave it a shake to mix it all up, and it's ready to go. So pink lemonade, about 1/3 vinegar to 2/3 water. Sound about right? Okay, looks good. I'm going to use this plain water is there in case something gets too bright for me. And I'm working on several different colors of paper, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. The third method that I'm using today is the experimental pre-treatment method that I had done in my last paper dyeing video. I did an experimental pre-treatment with blues and greens and yellows papers that I had. And what I have done is I have taken 2 colors of Distress Oxide ink pads and then just rubbed like this across the one side of the paper. And since these are not permanent, when I spray water onto it, it'll activate the oxide ink to pink and hopefully turn it all yellow. The lighter color is Spun Sugar, and the darker color back here is Victorian Velvet. Those are my 2 favorite oxide ink pads that I use all the time. And so I may pre-treat some more papers to just spray with water, but I'm gonna wait until later on to do those. And I'm gonna put I've also got, besides the paper, I've got a stack of other things. These are just note cards, and these are divider index box. Probably never seen them if you're under 50. This was for alphabetizing bills and such in mail. I got a bug in here, sorry about that. And I'm going to dye some of these, and I'm going to wait until the very end and sop up what's left in the pan. Now, the method I use is the spray bottle method. Most people that I see on YouTube are using the dunking method, where they pour the dye bath into the pan that they're going to use. And I use these roasting pans from Dollar Tree. And one thing I like about these roasting pans is they've got indentations, and they're getting kind of beat up from multiple uses, that this pattern shows up on the paper sometimes, and which is really neat. So the method that I use is I spray it directly onto a piece of paper, one at a time, and I spray the front and the back, and then I put it into the pan next to it to lay out to dry. So I'm going to get on my gloves here and start spraying. And I need to get myself better gloves than these, because these tear. By the time I finish up here, my gloves will have holes on them. The fingers will be all blown out, and I'll have pink fingers for sure. But once I get the gloves on here, I can't do much with the camera, so I'm going to get them on. And I'm going to, I promise. Oh, also, since I'm really, really messy, I've covered this big old work table I have with just scrap paper, with papers, big old drawing paper that I use as under paper or drop paper. Also, I have on my old painting apron because I somehow manage to get stuff everywhere every time I do anything. So, I'm going to start off with the white paper. I've got a big old stack. And this is not coming out very dark. This is very light. And it appears that I have diluted it too much. And before I go any further, yeah, it's very, very, very light. So that's not going to work for me. So what I'm going to do, since I can see that that's not dark enough for me, I'm going to take the other piece of other package I have handy here, and I'm just going to add another I got it all. All right, so now we've got 2 packages of Kool-Aid in there. That'll darken it up. So I've got about 2 3/4 cup of water. I'm sorry. All totaled, it's 2 3/4. I've got less than a cup of vinegar. I've got about a cup and a half of water. And 2 packages of Kool-Aid, unsweetened Kool-Aid. You don't want the sweetened Kool-Aid. a fumbling person today. Okay. I just laid that out. I think it may be my imagination, but I think I might have got two pieces of paper there. This is going to be really light. It said it's not coming out near as dark as the last time I did this. We'll see how it turns out when I put it in the oven. Does it seem like it's getting darker to you? Now, some people let their paper soak. Since I'm using really cheap paper, but I am piling them on top of each other. So I guess the ones on the very bottom will end up with more on it. But I'm going to continue doing the same thing over and over again, and I'll be back. So it's Becky, I'm back. It's the next day, and I have finished doing what I'm going to do today. I wasn't able to get my stuff in the oven, so I ended up having to let it, the stuff I did yesterday, I ended up having it dry overnight. I just finished doing the Petal Pink Rip Dye batch, and what you're seeing on the top here, this is really wet, is the yellow paper that I dyed. So pink and yellow is going to make orange, so it's going to look kind of a reddish orange color, and I piled it in there. But I wanted to show you, this is what the dye looked like. It's really red now. Petal pink, and then the dye turned out really red looking. The paper, when I get down there on the bottom, I have the white paper that I did. It's closer to this color, but not quite. And what I did with the Rit dye is I used about probably close to 6 ounces. This is an 8-ounce bottle. I probably used close to 6 ounces, and then I put 2 cups of water. I heated it up in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then I put the water in here, and I also added probably about 2 ounces of vinegar to it to set the dye bath on it. But this is what it looks like, and I'm going to let this sit, and I'm going to pour out the rest of this dye. And tomorrow, once I've gotten this paper, the rest of this paper dried, I'll show you how it turned out. This is how yesterday's batch turned out. I'm really disappointed. It's nothing like the pink paper that I dyed several years ago with Kool-Aid. It's just so light, you can hardly tell. It's colored, you know, it's not white. You can see against that it's a little pink. but it's very, very pale. And it was several years ago, and I don't know if I did it the same way, or maybe I used a different brand. I'm using Kool-Aid brand, and I'm using the unsweetened variety. But this is the white paper, and it's very pale pink, and I did want a pale pink, so that's a good thing. This ones that have the yellow on it, that it was backed up next to the yellow paper. This is the yellow paper, and it turned it gold as opposed to bright yellow. And I do like this better than this bright yellow, but I'm still not a fan of the colors that this turned out to. But I have a couple of Reader's Digest journals I will be making soon that have golds and yellows and oranges in it. So this is going to be helpful. And I did want a pale pink, so I ended up, this paper is almost dry. I laid it out on the table overnight, and it's almost dry, but not quite. I didn't get it in the oven. If I'd gotten it in the oven, you would see where it dries on the edges differently, and you'd see more variation in the color. But when I dyed it several years ago using Kool-Aid, pink lemonade Kool-Aid, it came out kind of a peachy pink, kind of a mid-tone peachy pink, not real light like this. But this is going to work for pages in my journal. I like it better than the solid pink color that I've got in there, and I needed some more pink, so this will work out. As far as the stuff that I've dyed here, I dyed a lot more of the pink. It didn't do anything, the pink lemonade didn't do much of anything to the fluorescent orange. So you can see that this one was colored and this one was not. So you can see a little bit of the difference, but not much. But I did dye some more with the darker pink, so we'll see how that comes out. This cardboard has got some coloration on it, but not much. This one was white, and it's better than white, bright white, so I'll be able to use these. They just aren't, they aren't anything special. And this was dulled down that bright red, so I'll be able to use these. It's like having a real light tea stain on it. So, but I did dye some more with the other pink, and we'll see how that comes out tomorrow. All right, I'll be back with the results tomorrow. Bye-bye. Okay, I'm all done with what I'm going to do so far. It's the third day of this little project, and I have got all my dyed papers mostly dry. They're a little damp in some places, but here's the results of the RIT dye, petal pink RIT dye, and it was the dye itself, and I don't know whether I didn't shake it up well enough or it was old or what the deal was, but it came out kind of grainy looking in the dye bath. So here's the result. These are the tags. Now these were manila colored, so they're kind of turned out kind of a reddish orangey kind of color. Pink and yellow or red and yellow make orange. So, and anyway, I like the way those turned out. Those will be fun to work with, to play with. These were heavier weight and got some interesting effects on it. Now what I do is once I spray it, both sides, I lay it down in a separate pan, and then I just stack, as many pieces of paper and things all up together. I just stack it up in a big pile, drain off the excess dye, and then let that sit overnight. Let that pan full of the sprayed papers sit overnight. And then the next day, which would have been yesterday, I spent most of the day, during the day, running things in batches of about 6 or 7 pieces of paper at a time through the oven at 200, and yesterday I had it set at 210 degrees, and depending on how wet it was, the paper was, and how many pages I had in there, it took anywhere from 10 minutes to 20 minutes for it to get those few pieces of paper dry enough to get to separate from each other and come out and take out of the pan. They're still slightly damp in some spots at that point, but I take them out and I lay them out and let them finish drying, air drying. But leaving all the pages stacked up like that overnight, and then I don't lay them real flat. I just sort of put them in there in some areas, or fold it up, and it's just, so it's close to the color I was looking for, and it gave some interesting effects. Just leaving it in there and letting it dry was, as is, like this one. The page that was on top of it was probably not folded up right, and then you can see the little rectangular outline of one of those tags that was laying on top of that. So you get some interesting effects doing it this way. Some more than others. This is 22 pages of the pink. Now this was done on white, just 20-pound copy paper, regular weight, cheap copy paper. And this was done with yellow copy paper. It was a bright yellow. I don't have any handy right now. I already put it up. But I tried to rush the process when I was taking the paper out wet, and I tore a lot of pieces. My goal in this was to have enough papers to use in my signatures. So I wanted full size so I could fold them over and use them in my signatures. But that's came out really cool. And you never know. Every time I dye paper in these colors, no matter what I use, it comes out different. I only do it about once a year because it's getting harder and harder on me because of my mobility issues. I've got a bad back, so it makes it hard. But anyway, this is how it all turned out. It's sort of a reddish orange looking on the paper that I dyed that was yellow. I need lots more. Here's the ones that I did the day before with lemonade. I need lots more of this paper. Somebody was kind enough. I have received almost 20 Reader's Digest books free. People sent them to me just because they were nice. They sent me almost, I think it's 18 or 20 Reader's Digest books that I will be making in this year and next year. So I think what I have decided I'm going to do with them is, most of them I don't have the book blocks because it was too expensive to ship them with the book blocks in them. So I believe I have 14 of them that don't have the book blocks, and those will be not have things from the book, the original book, condensed books that were in it, but I will use some of the pages from the other Reader's Digest books I've done to decorate it, and text blocks and things like that. Text that I use in it will be from other Reader's Digest books, but mostly they're going to be writing journals, and I'm going to make them all writing journals, and I'm going to use interesting papers in it that have different textures and designs on it. And so be looking for that in the next through the rest of this year and next year. I'll be working on that project, and I probably will take a break from it for a while and do something else. I'm gonna need to clean up my mess now because I've got another. I think I'm gonna continue dyeing some more papers while I've got all my stuff out, but I'm out of my pink dyes. I do have some more pink lemonade, and I may do another batch of the pink lemonade Kool-Aid to see if I can get it to come out better. It may have something to do with the weather or the water, or maybe it was old, or maybe I put too much vinegar in it. I don't know. It's just different every time. So that's part of the fun, is you never know how they're going to turn out once they're dry. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure and click that thumbs up for me. It helps me a lot, letting people find my channel. And follow me on Instagram at Becky's Journals. And you can follow me, and you can also direct message me on Instagram or on Facebook. You can also follow me or direct message me. On Facebook, I'm at Rebecca Raisler. And if you follow my Instagram and my Facebook pages, you will find that you will see, because I post every day showing what I'm currently working on. Thanks so much. You have a great day. Bye-bye.